Before I end this scene, though, I'm going to fast forward through time to the year again, end of 948, and I'm going to say that you are in your quarters, and there's going to be. I'm going to say there's going to be a knock at the door.
I rise up from the bed, like, because I was sitting on it reading something. I put the books, like, I throw them on the bed. Says, yeah. I just go to the door, open it. Yes.
You open the door, and there doesn't seem to be anyone there.
Can I look around? I can't step out, and I just look around.
You look around, roll a spot or perception scene.
Perception seeing. Alrighty. That would be an 11. Yes, 11.
You look around, and you actually catch in your peripheral vision something below. And you can see that it is a bird, a crow, actually. And the crow seems to be sitting on a parcel of some sort, almost as if it just delivered something to this door.
I kind of go to the crow. I slowly kind of go up to it. Hey, what's this? Like, who are you? Who did you bring this? Did someone was here? Does I talk to the crow?
The crow responds with a ha ha, and then the crow flies off,
I just
leaving the parcel.
I pick up the parcel.
It's wrapped in some sort of like paper, and it appears to be in the shape of it's a cylindrical shape. It's like a cylindrical shape package.
Is there like any address, any like person who sent this? Nope. Just I look around, make sure there's no one else in here, and I'm gonna go back to my room, close the door. Gonna look at. Maybe this is mine. Whoever knocked. And I opening like the package slowly and quietly, so no one can like hear it around me.
You open up the cylinder, and you pop it open, pop open the cylinder, and there's a bottle. There's a bottle of a black substance, and a letter attached to this black substance bottle.
I open up the letter.
You open up the letter, and it is in very fine handwriting. And the handwriting says, "There are many things in this world that need to be fixed. Can you fix it?"
Any sender? No one? Just like that's the end of the letter?
Doesn't get that. There's no signature. All it is there's so many things in this world that need to be fixed. Can you fix it? That is the hardest question.
I look at this bottle. Have I ever seen this kind of like black substance ball?
Are you opening the bottle and examining the substance?
I'm looking at the ball, and then I'm gonna uncork it, just take a sniff from it.
You take a sniff of it. It smells like paint. It doesn't smell like something you should drink. It smells like paint.
I'm gonna grab like the remaining parcel, and I'm going to like just do a small dip on a bit of the paper, on a bit of the parcel, like wrapping, just. And I curiously look at it.
You drop some of the paint onto the parcel.
A little bit.
A little bit. That's like a drop.
Yeah.
And the paint, when it hits the parcel, it starts to sparkle slightly, and the black paint transforms into a small hole that you can clearly now see through. You just painted a hole into the parcel.
What? Whew. I just like look at it, just confused, and I just kind of, and it's like essentially like it's like a circle I can see like through the hole, and I look at the ball and go, who sent this?
The gears in your head start to churn, And I'm just going to say that something that drops into your head right now is that if there was ever a time for you to make your own destiny and to leave this place,
Nice.
now would probably be the time to leave.
I just look at the bottle and I'm gonna find a suitable hiding place. I'm gonna hide the bottle. I'm gonna go, okay. So I have a way of escape. But who sent this? Never mind that, why? And I'm still like young, so I'm go. If I ever find a way, if I ever need this, I'll use it. But right now, as I continue my duties, for now, until I find the right time, the right moment. Destiny. What would it like to be free? Huh. And is it like nighttime? Is like bedtime essentially right now?
Yeah.
I pick up like the books and I just like put them like back for the shelves, and I'm just gonna go to my bed, which is like essentially I'm imagining like a bat without like a bed without a cloth, like to just cover yourself. It's just like an empty, just a bed that's just gonna lay on it and then go and just wonder in my head, who sent this, and when is the best time to go, when is the best time to leave. And I would go to sleep as sleep takes over me.
Some time will pass, and eventually Tirin is going to come up with a plan to escape. Fortunately for him, the amount of paint in the bottle is just enough for him to use to escape. I think he will probably have to use all of the contents in order for him to leave his master.
Mm-hmm.
I will leave the details of your escape, your mad escape, for another time. But what I will say, though, is that as you are making your way out of where are you?
I was from Minrathos.
Minrathos. When you're making your way out of Minrathos, there will be a very old beggar out in this, I would say just out of the city, and he's got this little pet. It looks like a mouse of something, like this little pet rat or mouse on his shoulder that he's sort of feeding a few crumbs of bread. And as you are making your way out, the old man meets your eye, and he says, "Good evening. You seem to be in a rush."
And you seem to be there talking to a mouse. You need some help, beggar?
He says, "I'm just fine. Just minding my own business. You, however, are a curious sort," he says, looking at you curiously.
I just smile at him.
"You look like you're a man with an agenda."
You can say that, yeah.
"Where are you off to?"
Travel. Somewhere where I can help others.
"Oh, you sound like a man who is determined to fix things."
I am, and I want to. Someone helped me. Showed me we all get to make our paths. We all get to make our choices eventually. And I'm gonna help those who need. Okay. I can give those the choice that they need. That is what I'm about to do.
Well, good luck to you then, young man.
I just look at the beggar. I toss him like a copper coin onto the floor. You might need it. And I
Thank you, sir.
And I turn around and leave, and I kind of smile. One person up, down. Who else is left?
So, Last but not least is Rousseau. All right, Rousseau. Russo, we are fast forwarding. It is going to be present time 9:49 Dragon.
Got it?
Actually, I'm going to say you're at home.
Okay.
I'm not going to say you're at your office. You're at home. And there's going to be a knock at your door. I'll say that Balin is probably asleep by this point. He's got a relatively early bedtime. So,
Well, good. He listens. So, I'm gonna finish up what I was writing, just like this sentence I was on, and then I'm gonna brush myself off and just slowly saunter to the door and open it.
you open the door, and there seems to be a young man, probably in his late 20s, early to mid 30s, and fairly dark hair, and he's got pale blue eyes, I would say. And he he greets you with a nod when you open the door, and he says, "Excuse me, are you Law Speaker Elren?"
I am. How can I help you?
I need representation, and I believe you're the only person who can help me.
I'm gonna open up the door a little bit wider, then like look down both ends of the street and basically be like, well, let's talk about it. And then I'm gonna point into the direction of like my home office essentially.
The gentleman will walk in, and he will, I guess, take a seat. I guess.
Uh, yeah, I'll open up the door and have like a seat ready on the other end of my desk because I feel like it's regular where I've had some clients over. And then before I go, I'm gonna basically go back through the door, grab a drink. Oh, can I get you anything? Are you parched?
No, I'm not thirsty. No, thank you.
All right, well, I'll be right back, and I'm gonna come back with like a glass of tea and set it down and sit at my desk. So, normally I'd be more nuanced about this, but it's late. My son's in bed, so I'm just gonna ask you to get straight to the point.
Well, they call me Audric.
Uh,
Audric Fellhausen, he says. I'm here because I am a witness to a murder.
where at?
Just outside of town,
Describe it.
I assume it was a robbery of some sort. Not really sure what the reason for it was. They came and they just came, did the deed, and left, presumably taking all whatever it is that they wanted off the person.
Do you know the name of the person?
Yes.
Then by all means, say it.
Audric Fellhausen.
That's your name. I meant the person murdered.
Yes. That is correct.
I'm gonna have a perplexed look on my face. So, you and this person are one and the same. Are you like friends who happen to have the same name, or am I missing something?
No. The victim is this Audric Fellhausen, he says.
Well, Audric, I'm understandably confused. How did they do it to you, and how are you here?
The only thing I can remember was coming back into town from a journey, being stopped by a group of, I guess bandits is the best way to describe them. And the only other thing I could remember is a sharp pain on the back of my head, and everything went black.
And you're certain that you've died?
I'm certain that Audric Fellhausen died, yes.
Okay. Did you catch any glimpse of these people?
The recesses of my memory, yes, I can imagine the faces, yes.
Okay. I'm gonna pull out my journal and be like, give me a smallest of physical description for them, and I'll figure something out here shortly.
He'll give a few descriptions. The one that he can give the best description seems to be the leader of this group. Female with brown hair, long brown hair,
Okay.
and has a bit of a smug look to her face. Doesn't know the name, doesn't recognize the woman, never seen her before, according to Audric Fellhausen.
Did Audric specify that she's a human, elf, or...
Human.
Okay. Do you feel you're still currently in danger?
I don't know.
Alright.
Look, Mr. Elren, I know this is not a normal case for you. But I wasn't sure who else to turn to. I heard that you were, forgive me to say, desperate for cases lately.
Yeah, set my quill down. Well, lucky for you, I've never settled for Orthodox. I'm more than happy to take your case. It's just, right now I need to get you somewhere safe so I can discern some more details and build my defense.
Whatever you think is best. You seem to have more questions, though, about my situation, Mr. Alren.
I do, but I don't know if the answers are really going to lead to anything, is how I feel right now. How long were you in town before this happened?
Only a few days.
Have you ever been to our great city of Navarra before?
Yes, plenty of times.
Okay.
I think this is where... Yes, this is where his family lives.
Was he a mage?
As far as I know, no.
Okay.
I woke up, Mr. Elren, shortly after the murder happened. But I didn't realize that I was dead. I went back home. Went back to bed. Next morning rolled around. I thought that whatever it was, I could report it. But something just made me feel like I can just, for right now, let it go. I don't know why, but I just had this feeling that I shouldn't pursue anything just yet.
And why the change, if you felt this was something that you could just walk away from?
Because I didn't realize until recently that this person was indeed dead, and I have been possessing their body. It wasn't until I realized for the last month that I have not had a bite to eat ever since it happened, a month prior.
Okay, so that means the site's been licked clean. Alright.
I'm not sure what is the best course of action, Mr. Alran.
Well, if I may, can I confirm it? And I'm gonna hold my arm out to, like, check his pulse.
He doesn't have one.
Okay. Well, if you said this was a month ago, I doubt I'm going to be able to get anything from the site. These cutthroats have more than likely just gotten to it. Okay, I have your witness statement, I have the story.
I'm not even sure if we should move forward through this to be trying someone for murder or attempted murder. The family doesn't know that Audric is dead. I didn't know, like I said, that he was dead until recently. I've been going through the motions, being there with his family over the last several weeks. It would break their heart to find out what really happened to him.
But don't you believe they have a right to know?
Perhaps. But that just complicates things even further, because if we were to bring this to court, Navaran law doesn't recognize people like myself as a real person. I don't have the same rights as a normal person would. And you know he's right. Someone like him does not have the same rights as somebody who is living, per se. If we were to move forward as an attempted murder, it would avoid unnecessary pain to his family, and we would have a much easier time winning this case, because no one would know that I was any more different than I am actually. This is my dilemma, Mr. Alren. I'm not really sure what is the best way to proceed.
I'm in agreement with you that if we just go to the court and say you've been murdered, we'll either laughed off or we won't get anywhere. So my idea is that I have a friend that I can have you give this description to, and we will start looking for these people and setting up the attempted murder case. But before that,
You want to talk about payment?
not necessarily right now, but it'd be nice.
He looks surprised by that when you say that.
The first things first is I want you to take me there, where it happened, and then I'm going to see if I can find another witness to the events.
I can do that. Didn't you say that you had a child here at home?
Yes, I unfortunately have to call a favor right now. So, with that, I feel like there's like a couple of colleagues that Russo would trust where he's had to do this before, where he's had to call him in the night and be like, hey, I gotta go like do this thing. Can you like come and watch Balin for like a couple hours?
Okay.
And would there be a message running service? I could just give that to like a courier and they'd go get it to them, then I could wait here with them.
Yeah.
Okay. Then I do that and wait for someone to come relieve me and just get as many details as I can.
Okay. So, in the interest of time, I'm going to say that you're gonna pursue this investigation. Now, I guess I wanted to ask, do you foresee that you're going to the route of trying to put someone through trial for actual murder or attempted murder?
It pretty much depends on what Russo can find in the general vicinity, because he thinks if he can find like 4 or so people that are like, yeah, I saw this guy die, then at a random moment in time get back up and keep moving, it'd be easier to do that defense. But if he's unable to find it, he's going to go with the attempted murder route.
Okay. You will be eventually, based on descriptions, and you probably have some sources that can do some investigating, but one person that seems to fit the description of the woman that Audric Fellhausen was speaking about is a woman who is simply known as Guinness. Guinness, for those of you who remember from Dragon Age 2, the game, Dragon Age 2, she's this woman who worked for a group of mercenaries known as the Winters. At any rate, she would end up being the accused of murder or attempted murder. If you will file an actual lawsuit against this person.
Okay, and I'd know of her affiliations, obviously, at this point.
I would say so, yes.
He would basically go forward with the attempted murder because, that'd be an easier thing to push this case and have less repercussions.
Okay. You are at your office, and you have started these allegations, and you have begun the process of putting this in motion, this trial in motion, when a individual walks by your desk and sort of, I would say this person sits on your desk. And that person is this. So, Rousseau.
Oh, Hilda, what do I owe the pleasure this time?
Word on the street says that you have finally got yourself a case.
I'd rather you not rub it in, but yes.
No,
Yes,
I'm just here to congratulate you. Well done, Russo. Well done. Your very first big case, a murder case. At that's very serious, Mr. Alred. Very serious indeed.
Okay. Look, Hilda, I know I'm not the most successful here with this, but I think this will be a good one to jumpstart me forward.
Well, I came by because we're friends, right?
Yes.
Colleagues.
More accurate.
Fair enough. Well, I just wanted to spare you a little bit of disappointment and pain. You see, the defendant of this trial, do you have any idea who is defending Miss Guinness?
Would I be too coy to think it was you?
I would be very flattered if you thought it was me.
Oh, then by all means, lay it on.
Yes, it is me. Aren't you excited? We get to work in the same case together.
I feel like there's ways to do this without being contested, but I do enjoy the challenge.
It's a dream come true. It will at least bring you exposure, at the very minimum, exposure. This case, I'm sure, will be talked about for ages.
So, considering that we're on the opposite ends of this, when are we passing over each other's dossiers for review before the date?
I'm not quite sure yet. I'm still preparing that.
Okay. I see. You seem confident about this, but I assure you, I will not make it easy on you.
Yes, I'm sure you won't. I'm sure you won't, she says as she sort of, kind of pats the documents on your table. Just kind of, pets them. Russo, you talk quite a bit of a game, but I don't know if you've ever been able to put your actions where your mouth is.
Then all the better to prove it.
She tilts her head. That wasn't really much of a comeback,
Well,
You're going to have to do a little bit better when you're in the courtroom.
I'm saving my energy for that one.
Well, I just wanted to come by and wish you good luck. Like I said, it's a very exciting time for both of us.
I'm sure you'll do that, Cutthroat, just proud in the room.
She will just kind of nod, give you a little bit of a wink, and she will turn to leave and make her way out if you don't say anything or do anything else.
Finally get a case, and then she's the one I gotta do it against. Joy! Fucking great!
We'll end the scene there. Alright. Part 2. I'm hoping part 2 will go a little bit faster. And then we'll finally get to the point where all of you guys are going to be in the same place at the same time. Oh my gosh!
Finally, let's go.
I'm trying to get there.
Speedrun this shit.
I've got 2 hours. Alright, we're going to try to get through this. Alright, so
Split.
everyone roll initiative one more time. Pasha, you are being summoned by the Arakune himself. The Arakune will be... Do they have like an office, or I can't imagine where the Triumvirate. Do they have their own building? I don't know.
I would assume that they probably have like some kind of governmental building where they all exist in.
It's like a throne room, but like 3 throne rooms.
Yeah.
In one.
I guess I don't know how.
Maybe it's like the council chamber in Mass Effect or something.
I'll call it the Arakune's chamber. I don't know what else to refer to it because office just doesn't feel right with this situation. But anyway, the Arakune has summoned you. Pasha, thank you for coming to see me.
It is always a pleasure, Arakune.
How have the children been? Have they been compliant? Have they been obeying your every word?
They have been doing very well. They have been learning excellently. They are able to recite certain passages off by heart. They are doing wonderfully.
I'm happy to hear that. I did not want to take too much of your time, as I know that you are a very busy person. You are very good at what you do, and you are very efficient. That is why I wanted to inform you that I have been giving a lot of thought about my position, and I feel that perhaps this coming year may very well be my last. I have been very proud to serve as the Arakune for the number of years that I have. But like all things, when one member of the Kun feels that they are unable to have the ability to properly serve their position, they must step down and allow space for others to succeed them. You are one of the candidates that I was considering. I wish to know what your thoughts were on that.
Pasha pales a little, and I think she visibly looks nervous, maybe even like just a little flicker of fear, not like a oh, I faint, but like just like for a split second there's a oh no kind of thing going on. And she kind of she clasps her hands in front of her and she says, Arakune, you speak the voice of the Qun. If it is your will that I succeed you, then I will trust that it is the will of the Qun, and I will do as the Qun demands of me.
He will nod and say, a fine answer indeed. If the Qun demands it, then indeed, I'm sure that you will be able to serve properly.
Upon hearing that it was a fine answer, she kind of, again, there's a flicker of, like she frowns a little as a kind of, was hoping, like she's kind of thinking, I was hoping that he'd want, yes, give me the job rather than general acceptance. And she just, she bows her head respectfully.
This decision, as you can imagine, is very important, for it is the future of our people. Our branch is an integral part, just like the other two are. Therefore, I wish to ask, what are your thoughts on Asra succeeding?
Pasha bites her tongue for a second. And through gritted teeth, she says, Asra has always played politics. She has always been ambitious, and she has, quite frankly, social graces that I can never hope to match. While I think her primary focus is Asra, she has always done what the Qun demands of her. I cannot deny that her fervor is unmatched.
Is that all you wish to say? You are one who speaks. I trust that everything that you have to say has been said.
Pasha is pausing. This is in character. As one who speaks, I believe I must also speak the truth. For the Qun is the truth, and to speak falsely would dishonor it. I think Asra would make a better Arakun than I, putting our many, many differences aside. She was always more political than I was. And then she nods.
Your honesty is recognized, Pasha. Would they refer to you as Pasha, or would they refer you as Tamazran?
They would probably refer to her as Tamazran.
Tamazran.
Or Rana, which is her professional.
Rana, okay. I guess I'll call her Rana. He'll say, your honesty is recognized, Rana. If there is nothing else, then, again, I did not want to take up too much of your time. I believe that one of your colleagues, Salit, has something to speak to you about.
She smiles, a very genuine smile, and again, she will do a little, bow, and, thank you for your consideration, Arakun.
He will nod. You are welcome.
And she will leave, if he lets her.
Yeah, you will leave, and just outside, you will see that Salit is there, as well as His Highness, Prince Nathan is there as well with Salit. So, how do things go with the Arakun? Salit asks.
You know how he is. The man's a wall. Very difficult to read his emotions. But I answered honestly, as much as it pained me to do.
Well, I guess that's all you can ask then.
And I think Pasha will turn and look at Nathan and say, I see you managed to escape Hazra's clutches.
Well, Prince Nathan says, as I said, I came here to deliver a message and succeeded, apparently, Nathan says. Yes, so it turns out the Salit that he was looking for was indeed me.
Whoever would have guessed, Salit.
The message actually was on your behalf, though, Pasha. I had actually been sending some feelers out during my time outside of Parvalin, and I think I may have a small, but better than nothing lead on the whereabouts of one dandelion.
Pasha kind of... It's almost like she hasn't heard this. Like it's just kind of gone... And for about 3 seconds is like nothing. And then she kind of blinks. And she says, I'm sorry, what did you say?
I'm saying that we have a lead for Dandelion, the child that was taken many years back.
Are you? How certain are you about this lead?
I mean, this information came from His Highness's King Sunworth spymaster themselves, so I don't know how accurate their spy network is compared to ours, but like I said, it's better than nothing.
May I see this information? Should we go somewhere slightly more appropriate than standing in a hallway? What?
Sure, we can go to the side room. And Nathan says, I will just wait out here. And so you'll go into a side room where you can have some privacy, and he'll show you the document. So basically the document is a report, like he said, from one of the spy masters, and basically informed that there was a gentleman by the name of Dandelion. Reports say that there are records of him currently serving as a guard in as a guard in Orlais.
Pasha, she's holding these documents like they are the most sacred thing that she has ever held. And she reads this, and I think she probably reads it through multiple times. And she looks up at Salit, and her eye, she's not crying, but you know when you kind of look at someone and you're like, they're about to cry. Her eyes look very wet. And she says, Salit, I don't know what to say.
Well, as you can see, the records are dated a few years back. So hopefully this Dandelion, if it's the same person, although I can't really imagine anyone else being named that, is still in Orlais as a guard. But at any rate, it's a lead.
Pasha opens her mouth, closes it. She's does that a couple of times. I think she makes like this kind of half strangled, not like a loud cry, but like it's she's choking back her words, and I think she just goes up to Salit and she just pulls him to her and she hugs him very tightly, and she just says, thank you so much for this. I don't think I have the words.
Well, don't thank me too much. The hard part is getting permission to leave, to follow this lead. And how will you get to Orlais from all the way here?
There are airships, there are regular ships, there are ways of doing things. I will find the permission somehow.
If I can put in a good word for you, I definitely will. I wish I could go with you, but unfortunately, I have duties elsewhere.
Don't worry about it, Salit. I'll have to find cover for my children. I think Pasha would. I think she leaves the room, and she probably goes up to Nathan, and while she kind of goes, she looks like she's going to hug him, but I think at some point she kind of goes, no, this is a stranger, and she will like kind of take his hand and like shake it.
Is everything all right? Prince Nathan asks.
Everything is fine. It's better than all right. I thank you. Thank you for delivering this. This is you don't know how much this means to me.
You're welcome. I don't really know what exactly it was, but you're welcome. Is there anything else I can help you with, Pasha?
Well, I don't suppose you have a very quick way to get to Orlais, do you?
I don't know if I have a quick way to get to Orlais, but I do have an airship.
What did I say, Salit? Airships. Have airships. We'll travel.
I do have to take it back to Ferelden eventually, if you are willing to make a pit stop there first, but at the very least, I can take you as far as I can.
That, again, you're being so helpful. You're being more helpful than you realize, young man. Your father raised you extremely well, sir. I need to get permission.
Yes, Salit says. That's very generous of you, Your Highness. Thank you. Yes, as for getting you permission, you can leave it up to me, Pasha. I'll see what I can do.
Did Salit say that?
Yeah, Salit said that.
Okay. Pasha kind of looks at him and, you were always one of my favorite children.
Really? Little old me, Salit says as he holds his hands like this.
She pinches his cheek and she says, always Salit with you.
I was always a shameless teacher's pet, yes. Never afraid to admit that. Sure, the other kids despised me for it, but look where I am now.
You certainly have a way, my dear.
Well, I think my business here is done. I actually had also finished my affairs with Arigena, so Pasha, if you need a lift, I'd be more than happy to take you at least as far as Antiva, at minimum.
If you would permit me just to go and grab a few things first, then I will. Thank you. Thank you so much, Nathan.
You're very welcome. Happy to help. I suppose if I'm the son of His Highness the King, I should be doing that more.
I don't know what you've been doing in the past, but you've certainly helped me a great deal. A great deal. And I think she's backing off to go and get her stuff. She's
Okay.
very quickly about this. She's like, I'm going.
All right. Next in initiative is Tirin.
Yep.
All right, Tirin.
What now?
Tirin, you have escaped,
Mm-hmm.
and you've spent some time. You managed to make your way all the way to the Anderfells. Okay. I'm gonna say that you're probably hugging like sources of water. So maybe you're around around that river that sort of crosses Nordboten and Hasburg. If you know what I'm talking about.
I am looking at right now. Yeah. Yeah.
And before I continue, I should probably point out to the audience that I explained to the PCs that there are special conditions that happens to the characters because of the elements, because of the elemental regions. And so I created this system where, depending on which character has predominantly spent their most recent time on certain regions, they get certain perks, advantages, and disadvantages. Yes. So, for example, Diminished Fire region, energy is far less efficient. Lamps and torches don't glow quite as brightly. It takes more time for fire to burn, and creatures tend to be more lethargic and must exert more energy to accomplish tasks. So anyone from that region, like Tirin, who will have spent most of his time in that region, at least during the recent years.
Actually, if you look at the map, Minrathos seems to be very close to the edge of the fire region, technically. So.
Okay. So we can argue that. We can argue
We can
that.
argue that. It's up to you, of course. We can argue.
Whatever works. You are effectively from the Diminished Fire region, as far as these mechanics go.
Yeah.
So Tirin gets a +1 bonus to all strength-based skills whenever he's not in his region, because the idea is that his body has compensated for the disadvantages of that region, so that when he's no longer in that region, he is slightly more strong relatively, because he doesn't have to exert as much energy. Mm-hmm. So, however, outsiders who are not from the Diminished Fire region, if they're in this region, they expend 1 extra magic point for spells if you're a mage, or you have 1 less skill point when you roll a stunt. That means if you roll a stunt with a 1, it's actually a 0. Diminished Earth region. Here you have poor land quality skirting towards desert quality. Plants have a much more difficult time growing, so food is scarce. Fewer animals due to less food sources. Good quality food helps with a clear head, so citizens from this region are more mentally attuned to their regions. So Daerthim, when they are not in the Diminished Earth region, he gets a +1 bonus to cunning-based skills. Outsiders who are in this region suffer a -1 on their defense scores. Diminished Water region, very little water source, including little rain. The water sources that do exist must be filtered or boiled properly before consuming, lest you get sick. The water within the blood itself thins the blood and makes wounds more lethal. So Pasha, when she's not in this region, gets a +1 bonus to all constitution-based skills. Outsiders in this region lose 1 additional hit point each time they take damage from any source.
Which is penetrating, I believe.
Correct, which is penetrating, yes. Yes, so you will always be guaranteed to lose at least 1 hit point.
Yeah, armor does not.
Always.
Yeah.
Yes. Diminished air region, stormy weather, especially high winds and lightning storms plague this region. Air quality is bad in general, making each strike in combat less effective. So Leon, when they're not in this region, he gets a +1 bonus to all dexterity-based skills. Otherwise, outsiders deal 1 less damage per hit. And then finally, the Diminished Aether region. Some months are in eternal darkness, other months are in eternal daylight. This messes with people's perceptions who aren't used to it. So people from here, Russo, are not in their region. They get a +1 bonus to their perception-based skills. Outsiders in this region suffer a -1 on their attack rolls when they're in this region. So, for example, let's say the party is in Orlais. Since Leon is from this region, Leon does get no advantages nor disadvantages in his own region, but all the other party members deal 1 less damage per hit in combat because they're outsiders of this region and they're not used to this environment. In addition, Pasha gets her +1 bonus to Constitution, Tirin gets his +1 bonus to Strength, Daerthim gets his +1 bonus to Cunning, and Russo gets his +1 bonus to Dexterity.
Perception.
Oh, excuse me, for Perception. Sorry, I have to check. I have to fix that. Thank you.
No worries.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it all
Great.
makes sense.
Cool. All right, so all of that applies now, moving forward. All of that applies now,
Got it.
just so you know. So, Tirin, you are in your region, so you don't have to worry about any special things. And you've been out there by yourself, living on your own, doing what you can to survive. When you start to see something in the distance, a mass of some sort moving in your direction in the distance on the ground towards you.
Am I like on a road? Like, am I?
I would say so.
Yeah.
Sure, I would say so.
I'm just traveling. So essentially, when I see like this, whatever it is, like what's like the distance? What can I see from where I'm standing?
Roll a perception seeing, please.
Perception seeing. That's a 14.
Okay. It appears to be a caravan of some sort, and it's brightly colored caravan.
I'm essentially carrying my backpack, like equivalent of a sack. Kind of use my elbow to like clear off some sweat that I kind of was running down since it's quite hot, and I kind of make my way. I kind of go on the road, and I try to get closer to the caravan, but I make it seem that I'm just another traveler.
Okay. So you're going to travel further forward, and as the caravan starts to get closer and closer, you start to pick out lettering. So there's a bunch of wagons. This caravan's a whole bunch of wagons that are pulled by Bronto, actually. And which is a little interesting because Bronto normally underground, but they're up on the surface right now pulling onto these wagons. And you can see in bright scarlet lettering across one of the largest, probably the largest wagon, Master Ignaldo's magnificent Antivan circus.
I kind of look at it and go, circus, huh? I'll continue kind of walking a bit. I make myself like, I'm there. But I'm not intentionally going circus unless they stop me or whatever. So,
okay,
kind of going. And I'm looking at the caravan, just like, huh.
You're looking at the caravan as it's starting to pass you by, and I'm going to say that the person at the very front, who appears to be very flamboyantly, ostentatiously dressed. Very Antivan. I can't do the Antivan accent very well, so please do not be offended, anyone out there.
I'm sure there are many Antivans in the comments.
Well, yeah, apparently.
The gentleman at the very front stops the whole caravan, and he looks at you very curiously, and he rubs his beard up down his chin. Very, very fine, manscaped beard. And he says, "Well, this is a curious sight. Hello there, boy. You're out here all alone by yourself?"
I just give a nod. That is correct, sir. By chance, are you traveling also? Gonna try and find some place to set up this? I kind of point at the caravan.
Actually, yes. We are on our way to the port city of Talo, which actually is, I would say, the direction that you're going.
Yeah.
To be perfectly
Probably.
honest.
Yeah, probably. There was like a crossroads. Yeah.
Do you need a lift?
If you can help a wandering doctor here, yeah, I wouldn't mind the lift.
You're a doctor? His eyes
partially.
light up.
Partial, yes. I have some skills.
We might actually have some use for those skills, he says. As you can probably imagine, many of our acts have caused the occasional accident here and there. Nothing too serious, just a few, scrapes and bruises, maybe some burns here and there.
You okay? If I can check those, if you have any wounded, I can help out. I can do so.
That would be wonderful.
Well, come, show it to me, please.
He will take you over to past some of the wagons, and you're gonna see some of the people looking curiously out. I guess there's sort of like windows on some of these wagons, and you see like two girls, twins. They look like identical twins, poking their heads out, watching you. There is a dwarf that seems to have markings on his face, the markings of a castless on his face. There appears to be an elf who has the Vaseline tattoo, the Dalish.
Valasline,
thank you. The Valasline markings on his face. So those are the individuals that you see are observing you. I'm going to say that one of the last people that is looking out is a woman that looks like this. One of the final people that looks out of this caravan. So anyway, he's going to take you over to one of the wagons, and it's actually going to be the wagon where the dwarf with the castless face has. And he says, what was you say your name was?
I never gave it. I'm Tirin. Tirin Seedog.
Tirin!
Yes.
Pleased to make your acquaintance. I am the magnificent Master Ignaldo.
Do you always say it like that?
Yes, actually. In order to pronounce it properly, you need to use your hands.
You just, do like some signs, like just trying to write down Master Ignaldo in the air?
Well, I think that they accentuate things.
That's understandable.
Like spirit fingers.
That's understandable. I think I might have known someone like that, maybe, in my travels.
Well, allow me to introduce you to the Broma Brothers. And the Broma Brothers are actually these 3 dwarves. You realize that the dwarf that was looking out at you is different, mistakenly, from the dwarf that you thought was the same dwarf. And there's actually 3 identical dwarves. I'd like you to meet Tumble, Spin, and Dry.
I give like a nod. Pleasure to meet you, Tirin.
Aye. They'll nod. Yes. Callista caught that. If Broma Brothers sounds familiar, that is the Broma Brothers that Ogren and Zevran stole the identities of when they were trying to rescue the warden from Fort Draken. But anyway, it looks like Tumble had quite a bit of a tumble, and I think he ended up spraining his ankle.
I see. That could be easily fixed. If he allows me to check it, of course.
Be my guest. And you see that right now he will hold out his ankle, and it looks very, very badly bruised.
I kneeled down a bit, kind of looking at it.
What do you think, Doc? Tell it to me straight. Am I gonna live?
No, just he would probably live with the sprained ankle, correct? Like it's bad, but it's not insanely bad.
Spin pipes up and says, don't worry, Tumble. I'm sure all he'll have to do is just saw the whole leg right off. Saw the leg off?
I will not try to do that. That is not... I will best like to keep my patient alive and give him the choice to continue on what he's doing. Let me see if I have any balm. Maybe this could help out. And I open up my medical bag and I kind of start like searching for like bandages, a couple of like a balm that could like maybe help out with a sprained ankle, maybe like.
Yeah. You do that, and as you're doing that, Dry kind of pipes up as well and says, "So you're not gonna saw his leg off? Well, that's too bad. I'm sure we would have gotten a lot of sympathy points from the audience. Didn't you, Tumble? Weren't you practicing doing your handstands? I'm sure you could have been able to cope just fine without your legs."
Well, the question is, I imagine Tumble would like to have his leg back. Am I correct? Can I look up at Tumble?
Yes, Tumble would very much like to have his leg back. Yes, or not even lose it in the first place.
No worries. I will do my best. I will do my best to keep your leg still there. Do not worry. It should not look bad. Once I apply this and a bit of bandages, you might need to probably get a bit of rest. My suggestion is, for now, don't do any extreme moves, so to speak, until you get this fixed. And
yeah, roll whatever you need to roll for, I guess, medicine.
That would be cunning healing. I only have cunning, so this is going to be straight roll. Let's hope.
Roll your cunning healing. Don't critical fail.
Ooh. That is a whopping 18.
Nice.
So
all right.
Pull out some and I'm gonna balm it up, and then I'm going to like pull out some bandages and tie them up to his leg, and just like bandage on the leg as I use this.
Yes, very nice. I'm happy you have props as well.
Yep.
And you finish wrapping up the sprained ankle, and I'm gonna say that the woman, drow-looking woman, dark-skinned woman with a mask, she actually has come to observe what's happening, and when you finish wrapping up the ankle, the dwarf's Tumble says, "Hey, that's actually feeling a lot better. Thanks, Doc."
No worries. Like I said, just don't do any extreme moves. Any simple things, you should be able to do them probably. Just don't sprain. Just don't do anything hard. I look over at the master. I don't know. Just make sure he's safe and he doesn't sprain the other ankle again, or the other one.
They will thank you, and I guess as the cart starts to leave, because you're now hitching a ride, I think the woman is going to tap you on the shoulder.
I look at the woman. I don't.
Thank you very much for helping the Broma Brothers. You seemed like you're very good at what you do.
It is my job, and it is what I do. I've traveled around enough, so to speak, that people who have issues like that, pains and such, should be helped out. And these lands, it seems quite hard to find a decent healer, at least.
Well, I can tell you, your skills will be very valuable around here if you're sticking around for a little bit.
Well, I am traveling to Thailand, and you seem to be going the same direction, so it's it's best we can sit together. You know, the Anderfell isn't really the safest place, so to speak, as we know. Though I haven't been here long in this region, maybe a year.
Oh, really? Where do you hail from?
He kind of thinks for a bit. I hailed from the winter.
Oh, I see. You don't strike me as a magister.
That's true, I'm not a magister. As you can kind of see, kind of showing I kind of pull my hair back a bit so it's a bit longer to show the elf ears, kind of put them back. I'm more of my family lived in one of the small local, small village, not one of the modes, so kind of lived
I
from
see.
there.
And your family's still there?
No, my mother had unfortunately passed away, and my father had left due to some work, never returned, and decided to leave the winter for a bit, travel around. I made a couple of trips back to the old place, but that's the old life now. I'm here now.
I see. Well, happy to have you aboard. My name is Narika. Merchant Narika.
Merchant Narika.
Yes.
Why do they call you that? Do you sell interesting wares that entice anyone who is intrigued by them?
I'd like to believe so. It doesn't hurt to buy from pains, she says.
I just chuckle a bit. It sounds like you might always need someone like me to be there by your side, just in case of my backfire. Just saying.
Fair enough. You don't have any other skills other than your doctor skills? I was thinking also maybe you could also have an act.
I don't partake in entertainment, so to speak. I do have other skills, though. I am learned in, I guess you can say, light blades. I kind of pull out the throwing knife, kind of toss in the air, and it kind of bounces out on the tip of my finger. I do some quick tricks with it.
You can throw knives?
Yeah, particular specialty, yeah. I am very well talented with light blades. Kind of, you gotta know how to at least use them if you ever get to a tumble of sorts, eh?
Well, funny you mentioned that. I know the Broma Brothers were actually coming up with this new act where one of the Broma Brothers would be strapped onto this big wooden spinning wheel, while the other Broma Brother would start throwing knives towards the wheel.
Ooh.
They've been practicing with wooden knives. Between you and me, I think that if this act actually does come to pass, or if this act does become reality, you probably would be way more useful around here than you normally would.
I see. Are they not talented in using knives?
Well, Tumble juggles. He juggles swords, just not very good at throwing them. Spin does this traditional dance of death where he actually lights his pants on fire. And Dry, well, Dry, as he says, he's just the pretty one.
Tirin's just staring at almost disbelief, just going, okay, Tumble is intriguing. Then you tell me Spin knows how to live without having his his bottom torso burnt to crisp, and Dry is just Dry.
Oh, it's part of the. It's part of a trick. It's part of the act.
Well, I'm surprised. I have not seen this this event yet, so who knows? Maybe I'd be interested to see what happens.
Well, stick around. It's never boring around here. There's always something interesting and fun happening. We travel all around, seeing the world, meeting very interesting people from different cultures. And it's always a fun time.
Interesting. It is fun, don't get me wrong. Wandering is a great thing. Kind of what I got the title for anyway. But, well... If I am around here to help you out until Tail. After Tail, I do not know what I'll do. I've been just traveling around trying to help others that have the issues like Tumble, for example, who have suffered injuries or such. There are quite many around.
Well, welcome to the family, she says with a smile.
I just give a nod. I appreciate it.
And with that, we'll end our scene there.